What's going on, guys? Zach here from iTrendz coming at you with a VWAP video. I'm going to try and make this nice, simple, straight to the point. Under 7 minutes is the goal. Hopefully, we can get there together. And at the end of this, you guys will understand how to use the VWAP for day trading and two simple strategies that we're going to talk about with the VWAP. I'm sorry about the lighting. Again, it doesn't really matter about me. It's more about what the content is. So just make sure you guys got a pen and paper and you're ready to take notes. That being said, again, Zach from iTrendz, one of the founders here. We'd really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button, that like button. We just passed 100 subs, so that's really awesome. But the like button really helps it get pushed out to more people. If you want and or are interested in finding out more, learning more about iTrendz, we do have links in the description for our Discord and our website. On our website, we have a couple free things you guys can take a look at, like our starter kit, which is great for newer traders. Has how to understand options, a little bit of terminology, and two other bonus pieces of content in there as well. So highly those out. Highly recommend you check those out. They'll be linked in the description. Let's get into VWAP though. So volume weighted average price. So we're going to go over what is VWAP, what's it used for, how to use it, and then we're going to go into some examples. Like I said, it's going to be real simple. There's a lot of stuff on this PowerPoint. If at any point in time you want to take notes on what's on, just pause the video, go ahead, just look at what we've got here on the slides and then take your notes and then continue. So the volume weighted average profile or price, excuse me, is the VWAP, right? It's an indicator that gives the average price of a stock weighted by both the volume and the price. So unlike an MA will give you the average price over a specific period of time, the VWAP will give you the price and volume over a specific time. So traders like to use it as a support and resistance or a stop loss on a stock. For the most part, traders like to identify where your trend is, right? We're always looking for where's the trend. So above the VWAP, it's generally regarded as a strong uptrend. And then below the VWAP, it's generally regarded as a strong downtrend. So VWAP mainly used to distinguish the intraday trend, like we were just talking about on a stock. Unlike other indicators that change basically or based on your different time frames, like say a 4-hour comparatively to a daily or an hourly to a 5-minute, the VWAP won't change. It's the same through every single time frame. And for that reason, it's not helpful on larger time frames. It's only helpful on a 5-minute, or if you're a 1-minute trader. At iTrendz here, we don't trade on 1 minutes, and we also don't recommend trading on 1 minute. It's a little bit too, you get too emotional seeing all the ups and downs, kind of get crazy, but traders do use the 1 minute. So you use it, the VWAP on the 1 minute, the 5 minute, some people use it on the 15-minute, not as helpful there. Anything past that you can kind of disregard. Traders don't really utilize it on larger time frames, like I just said 3 times. The formula for it is price times shares divided by total shares traded. Obviously, it's going to show you it on your chart, so you don't need to know this formula, but it's important to know and understand how or why the VWAP is calculated. So VWAPs also have standard deviation lines, and so they'll have 2 standard deviations up and 2 standard deviations down. Traders often regard traders often say the VWAP and are actually talking about the midline there, the actual true average, right? Those 2 standard deviations up and above are just your upper and lower bands. When people say the VWAP, it's above the VWAP. They're talking about that midline, right? And most traders honestly only use that midline there. They don't actually use the standard deviations on top or the bottom. It looks very similar to the Bollinger Band, so if you've ever traded with that. I don't know if any of the traders that are watching this have used that. So some advantages and disadvantages. Advantages, it can help signal a change in trend on the day. It can be used as support and resistance, and it can be used as a stop loss. And then those upper and lower bands help show where you buy or sell a stock. And we'll get into that in a second. Disadvantages, it's only reliable on those smaller time frames, and therefore another disadvantage that it's not helpful on larger time frames. So anyway, how to get the VWAP. If you're in Webull, you'll go to your indicators page, you'll go to your all indicators, and then you'll select VWAP, put it on the page, it'll display. We'll take a look actually on a Webull chart here in a second what it'll display as. And if you're on thinkorswim, you need to go to edit studies and then go type in VWAP, and it'll be right there. And TOS will pop up with the extra upper and lower standard deviations. VWAP on Webull, I believe only just the line itself, or at least when I put it on, it just has the line itself, and it looks like this. So this is what it looks like when you put the VWAP on your chart. As you can see right here, following what we reviewed just a minute ago, if a stock is generally above the VWAP, it is respected as strong. And if it's below the VWAP, it's respected as weak. So as you can see here, as Apple was above the VWAP the whole day, very strong the whole day. So as we can see, we're going to go forward here. When you use it, well, you use it on that 5-minute time frame, that 1-minute time frame as you're day trading. When you're trading with the VWAP, traders are more likely to go long when your stock is trending above the VWAP. More likely to go short when your stock is trending below the VWAP. It resets daily. Again, that's why we don't use it on larger time frames. So, excuse me. Some traders will take a long position off of a support that they've identified in the day and trade it up to the VWAP. And then another strategy that traders utilize is that they'll go short off a resistance and trade it down to the VWAP. So that can also be very, very helpful. You can trade it both ways in that one strategy. Here's an example of Facebook that we're going to go over today on how you could use it as a stop loss. And we can also take a little bit of time and go over that first strategy where you can take it off the support or the resistance. So let me grab my pen here. I'm going to take while at this. Okay, so we're going to resistance, and we're going to draw our support. Okay, so say you went short off of a rejection off the resistance right here, and you traded it all the way down through VWAP. It broke VWAP, so you knew that the trend was weak. You're already in short off the resistance. You're in the right position here, trading down through the VWAP, and it can't break. Notice how it can't break through the VWAP here. Every candle is closing underneath the VWAP, can't break through, and then it trades down to your support. I should get a different color here. Trades down to your support, right? So as it trades down to your support here and it bounces off your support, say you don't sell that, that short position, and it bounces back up to the VWAP and trades inside of this range, then comes back down to your support and you don't sell again. You still haven't sold your position that you originally entered from the top here. You can use this VWAP as a stop loss. So as it touches your support for the secondary time of the day and doesn't break through, one, you should have sold at that point in time. But if you didn't sold at that point in time and actually reversed back up, you would use your VWAP to cross above as a stop loss. So say you entered here on your short, didn't sell on the first touch of the support, didn't sell on the second touch of the support. Off that second touch, it bounced above the VWAP. Using the VWAP as a stop loss, this is where you would have sold your trade if you hadn't sold at the two optimal exits, the first support touch and the second support touch. Such a little example. Now let's clear this here and start another example. Let's draw a resistance here and a support. Whoa, what did I just do? Draw a support here. Sorry, I just dragged something from my computer. Let's say we went long right here in an early entry on a break of a resistance. I actually made this mistake today. I entered early on a trade, no confirmation. It wasn't a good trade. So I entered early here and I ignored my own rule and VWAP using it as stop loss. So say you entered here, couldn't confirm above your resistance here. It came back down, broke through VWAP, and then couldn't get back above VWAP to then go and try and re-break your resistance, right? Go and re-break. Instead, it didn't do that. It just went and stayed underneath. The rejections of your VWAP should have been used as a stop loss in this scenario where you would have cut the trade for a loss, known that you had a poor entry, but making sure that your losses don't get too large and you don't accrue too much in losses, right? We want to keep our losers small and get our winners big. So let's go to the next page here, the next example, excuse me. This is AMD. Oh, I got to clear this. I got to clear this. Hold on. So let's draw our supply zones, demand zones, resistance, support, whichever you prefer. I like supply zones and demand zones. Obviously, it's going to be a little off here. Demand zone, supply zone, resistance, support. Let's look at this. This is day one. This is day two. There's two different examples here, right? Your stock is either going to be range bound on the day or it's going to have a directional day, depending on how you like to trade. You could trade either of these. One trader might like to only trade directional days, another trader might like to trade both, and the other trader might like to trade range bound days only. So let's take a look at this. Let's say that you had an amazing short and you identified a resistance at this level here, in between this level and this supply zone that you identified. It failed. AMD failed right off the bat. So you took it short underneath the VWAP here, right? Breakdown through the VWAP, showing weakness on the stock on the day, and it just can't close above the VWAP. As you can see, wick, but no closes above the VWAP. That's no confirmation of potentially reversing above the VWAP and going towards that supply zone again. Stock is still weak. We're in short. So we take it short down to our demand zone. Great trade. Awesome trade right there. Traders will trade that type of, or traders will utilize that, the VWAP in that scenario. Some traders will wait until it comes down to demand zone, then take off of, or go up to supply zone, take a trade off the demand zone, enter off the bounce, take it up to VWAP, and then sell their trade at VWAP here. Obviously, if you have multiple contracts, if you're an options trader or multiple shares, maybe unwind 50% of your position, let the other 50% run until you can actually extract the most value out of that trade and until it gets to your supply zone, right? Or a trader might wait until it gets to the supply zone again, rejects, take an entry here, and then trade it down to the VWAP. So that's one strategy, right? Going over that one strategy. Now looking at day two, I'm going to pick a different color. Now looking at day two, that's blue. We don't want to do that. There's not very many colors that I have to choose from here. Now looking at day two with this directional trade, right? Nice, easy. It's just short the whole day. Say you had a support right here. This was your support on the day, and you said, okay, I'm going short as soon as it breaks that support. So it broke, came back up, broke, came back up again. Now it's going to retest underneath the VWAP here. That's one confirmation of a very weak stock on the day, right? And you have your support, it breaks through. So your entry is on the close of this candle underneath this support, underneath the VWAP. You take it down and you have a demand zone down here. So you intend to trade it all the way down to that demand zone. Notice how AMD comes down to 107.75. And then it starts consolidating in this area, but never does it get above this VWAP right here. It never gets above the VWAP. It can't get back above and start to reverse on the day, or in other words, get back momentum to the upside, and which is not in favor of your trade, your short. So it can't do that. So there's no reason to exit this trade here. If a candle had formed above and then candle started stacking above like this, you should have taken an exit when that occurred, because that shows that there's a reversal or there's strength in the upside. The bulls are gaining some traction here, right? So take an entry underneath your support here. Your ideal exit is down at this demand zone here. Never got above VWAP, so you can actually trade it, take it through this entire trade, take it down to the demand zone, and exit at the demand zone. So let me clear this, and let's move on here for a recap. Some supporting indicators that you can utilize with the VWAP to help. RSI is a great supporting indicator that you can use, which we also have a video on, I believe, somewhere on our channel. Go ahead and take a look at that. Where if you are looking in the RSI on a longer time frame, say an hourly over a period of 30 days or so, and the stock is trending up, the RSI is showing you that there is strength in that uptrend, and then you go to the 5-minute and you see that it's above the VWAP, then that's a double confirmation of strength on the day in that stock. Therefore, you can go long. Make sure to apply your support and resistance lines and any candlestick patterns that you might know to really give you a better edge on how that trade is going to trade out, where your potential entries and exits may be. This is another example here that I just want to show before we log off of where traders can take a long off support, trade up to the VWAP, exit their position or unwind 50%, and then trade the rest up to the resistance, then go short off resistance down to VWAP, unwind the trade or unwind 50% of the trade, and then let it go down to another support on the day that you need to identify yourselves. So hopefully you guys learned a lot about VWAP today. It's pretty simple. There's really two ways to use it. There are some other strategies out there that people use. Predominantly, this is how I personally use it, either trading off resistance down to the VWAP or vice versa, support up to the VWAP, or utilizing it if I have a not so ideal entry or I missed my exit as a stop loss, right? So a change in trend. All right, so key takeaways before we leave today. Stock trending above the VWAP, strong. Stock trending below the VWAP, weak. Overall, the VWAP's used on those 5 minute, 1 minute, 15 minute, if you really want to, time frames, no larger, doesn't really help there. And then traders can also not only use it as a stop loss, but take those trades from the support up to the resistance or from the resistance down to the VWAP. So that is all that we have today. Hopefully you guys learned something. Again, we have links down below for our Discord and website. Feel free to check it out to learn more about iTrendz. We've actually got a pattern and indicator book coming out very soon with a, hold on, I have it here in a second, with a cheat sheet that we made for you guys so you can print out and have right next to you. It has, you can kind of see here, it has head and shoulders. Oh, it's backwards head and shoulders. You got W and M patterns here. You got a little bit of flags in there. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Nice little symmetrical triangles, and it'll show you exactly where the extension should be, how to get those measurements, and then where the breaks should be as well. And if it's a continuation or a reversal. But anyway, that's all inside of our pattern and indicator book that's dropping here at the end of the week. Next, we will be releasing and doing a series on candlestick patterns as well. So feel free to join those free classes inside of our Discord, link in bio. Again, hit the subscribe button, the like button. We really, really appreciate it. And any questions, concerns, comments, anything, any type of feedback at all, or if any videos that you want to see in the future, please drop them down below in the comment section. Really, really helps us out, and we'll catch you in the next one.